Hello folks, just realised that I've not changed the background, so there we are. Time for some hobby nightmares. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below, the Patreon button is also down below. If you want to be involved in our prize draw, which will be done, I think, at the start of July. So we're looking at a couple of weeks from now, we'll be doing our first prize draw of the year. If you do win that, you'll be getting £50 worth of free models from Composite Games. All there ready for you. I have been asked if they can do a £50 gift voucher. I will ask. I don't see a reason why not, but I will ask. Hopefully you can do that and you can get some money off some of your models. That would be pretty cool. But if you do get models themselves, then even if you live somewhere where they don't deliver, I will get it sent to me and I will send it straight to you at my own expense. There is a little thank you from me to you for helping out the channel. If you want to enter into the prize draw, all you need to do is be a patron or be a member of the channel going forwards. That's all you need to do. Hope you're all having a lovely week. Let's get into some hobby nightmares, shall we? Robbie says, howdy North. Been a while, as I can pleasantly report I've had a good time gaming lately. However, that changed at a recent Necromunda game. My main gang is a Venator gang. The Necromunda are version of insert your own gang here. And I use the Venator rules to make a Spryer gang. Basically, a bunch of rich kids going thrill killing. And the models are ornate as hell, kit bashed together with Xenos kits, gang kits and other kits, all to make nobility as opulent and decadent as you would expect from the 40k setting. After beating a squat gang in 2 games out of 3, the guy threw a fit and smashed half of my models. What? Hang on a second. He got booted out, but half of my models were foobar. I don't care if he got banned or whatever, I just hope I can build some more Spryers to replace them. Hope you have had a better time wargaming, Robbie. Dude, we need more context. That is a big story. There are some of these stories that I get sometimes that are like, you know, then a guy came in and just stabbed him and then he left. It's just like, dude, you can't just say that. You gotta have a bit of pretext. Let us know what's going on. Unless you just flipped out of nowhere, that would absolutely kill my hobby. I know I often say you shouldn't let people dictate how you enjoy the hobby. Dude, if somebody just randomly at the end of a game smashed my models, after showing no inclination of doing so up until that point, I don't know, man. It would give you some sort of PTSD, you know? My giddy aunt. Moving on. Owl says, hi North, this is Owl from the Discord, or Heresy Hobbyist from YouTube. I'm relatively new to your community, and I just want to say thanks for all that you do. No problem, man. I often find myself wishing I could listen to your videos while at work, but unfortunately, I cannot. No earbud policy, that stinks. So coming home and listening to some hobby nightmares / rants is always a treat. Yeah, I once worked. It wasn't really a factory, but it was like a mind-numbing work in an office, where we were literally moving an office and I was just bagging stuff up all day. You know, literally in the same spot all day, bagging stuff up, you know, just doing that all the time. So I started listening to audiobooks, right? Started like putting some audiobooks on. Till I was told to not do that, because it might stop my concentration of putting the same product in the same bag over and over and over again. I ended up saying to them, look, the music's the only thing stopping me from self-harming, alright? Either you let me do this, or I'm walking. And I ended up having to walk, because they said, no, you can't do that. And I said, well, I'm not doing it. I'm not standing here all day doing this. You know what I mean? And we can't talk as well. They were like, no, you can't talk to each other. It won't aid your concentration. Dude, I'm not in school anymore. Piss off. And I just walked. And again, it was one of those jobs where when you're younger, you got quite a lot of freedom because jobs are a dime a dozen. You know, you're doing entry-level jobs, and entry-level jobs come and go like the wind. So it's not really a big thing you need to be worried about. So, but oh my god, that makes my blood boil. Just let them listen to stuff while they work. Stop being such an idiot. I think the one good thing COVID did is that it brought that work-life balance, or at least it's supposed to have brought that work-life balance into more sharper focus. But you know, people let it go as they normally do. Governments don't want you spending more time at home. They want to keep you mind-numbed and broken down in work, and they're all the time monotonously grinding through your life to pay their taxes. So, you know, they don't want you working at home. I made the switch during COVID. I went completely to working at home. I then started working in schools in America, and when I got back to the UK, and then I said, you know what, no, I prefer working at home, so I did. I just stopped and said, no, I'm working from home. I will take the hit to my wages, and I will work from home. I did, and I've slowly, over the last 2 years, built my way back up again to when I'm earning more now than I did when I was doing my teaching and stuff. Which is crazy, but that's how low teachers are paid in the UK. But moving away. This should be a short one, and is less nightmarish than most, but I thought it could be enjoyable and helpful for some to hear. I had decided that as a gift, I would buy and paint some models for my sister and my friend for their birthdays. Different days, but the nightmare is relevant to both. For my sister, I purchased some D&D miniatures that she could use for her games, as she loves the game and plays regularly with friends. For my other friend, I decided to buy him the Vulcan Primarch model, Jesus dude, as even though he isn't a 40k, 30k gamer, he loves the salamanders. My god, that's expensive. When it comes to my sister's models, after buying and opening them, I realised they had the most atrocious mould lines I had ever seen. Yeah, I mean, most places that do D&D models will have atrocious mould lines, like they're the old green army soldier toys, kind of like that. I couldn't quite remove them all, as the models were quite small and flimsy, and I don't want to risk breaking them. Deciding to shave off what I could and prime them anyways was a good choice, and left me with a lot of anxiety, as I wanted the models to look as good as I could make them. The next blunder came once I had finished painting them. I went to varnish them through my airbrush, however, there was still some residue white paint in my airbrush that didn't quite clean well enough. So, when I sprayed the varnish, some white specks came out, interfering with the paint job. I had to then repaint parts of the model to fix the white. That's always, dude, while you spray on your hand first, or you spray on a clean surface first, you can see what's coming out of the nozzle. Anyway, when it came to my friend's Vulcan model, I had many issues working with resin. Some parts snapped off the gates, right off the gates when removed, and many had to be shaved and clipped to fit together. Again, this made me feel quite bad, as I wanted it to be as good looking of a model as it could be. And I thought all of those small issues that I noticed might impact the final look and diminish the value of the gift. Even though I was feeling down due to these issues, I finished each model and gifted them on their respective birthdays. Despite my insecurities about my work, they both loved the models. I could hear the genuine joy in my sister's voice when she thanked me for the gift, and my friend thought that the paint job on Vulcan was so good that it came painted by the company, and I had to explain to him that I had painted all the parts myself. He was super impressed, and my worries melted away. So I guess the lessons to take away are: 1. Consider painting some models as gifts for friends and family. Even if you are self-conscious about your work, even if they don't play Warhammer or tabletop games, the passion and love you put into painting them will come through regardless. When you have modelling or painting troubles, try not to let it discourage you from finishing the project. Each model is a learning opportunity, and sometimes your inner perfectionist ruins the fun. You will get better with time, and sometimes you just have to wait until it's done to see the full picture and appreciate your work. Dude, I needed to hear that. I really needed to hear that second bit. I'm so guilty of that. I do that all the time. I will paint a model, right? And because I'm so self-critical, like I will look at my models and go, that's not good enough, you know, they're not good enough, I need to do better, and it just really grates on my ability to just pick it up and start again. I needed to hear that bit. That's all. Hopefully you found some of this useful. I certainly did. I couldn't find any pictures of my sister's D&D models, but I have attached some Vulcan pics for you. Feel free to show them if you want. I will, thank you. Let's have a little look here, shall we? I think quite a lot of them are pretty cool. Let's have a look. Hopping up his pics. There we go. So, Vulcan. Let's have a wee look at him, shall we? That's incredible, dude. There's nothing wrong with that. That's amazing. He looks almost alabaster. I love that. He looks like a statue. That looks like actual metal, the way that the light's hitting it. That's awesome. Can I get a picture of that cape? There is one, yeah. There is one, that's awesome. Where's the cape? Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Dude, you gave that away as a gift? My God. Like, that is so cool. What is going on? That's amazing, dude. Like, no, come on. Come on, you gave that away as a gift. That's not quite commission paint job worthy, but it's almost paint, you know, commission worthy. That's amazing. You should be really, really proud of yourself. That's awesome. Brilliant. Moving on. Alright, Captain says. Okay, I guess he named himself and he doesn't tell me to use his other name, so. Hey North, my name is Jonathan. Hope you're having a good day and hope you have a great week. I'll be using first names in this as there are a lot of people on this planet and I can't be bothered with filtering myself right now. I'm writing to the show today because I recently had a pretty awful hobby experience. While I was driving to my bi-weekly 40k league night, I got a strange text from my partner. Oh, it's going to be one of them. He said that we needed to talk about something urgently. I thought, great, another health issue came up and we'll have to cancel our plans tonight. Which would have been okay, as I understand that he has been ill for a few years now. But I couldn't have been more wrong. For context, Sage, my partner, is transgender and has several chronic illnesses. So, not only did I have to deal with making sure he was not in pain, every month there would be just a week of absolute misery that I had to deal with. Right, so, here's the thing. A lot of people will judge you for saying that about somebody who's ill. I don't. The people who say that kind of thing, I say this about all the time. Like if I moan about like taking care of grandpa or something like that, people go, well, that's a bit heartless, isn't it? That's a bit like, oh, why? Dude, you're not in my situation, and you've never cared for anybody before, not full time, not every single time, not every single moment of the day. You have never taken care of anybody, so don't you judge me. You don't have a right to judge me. Okay, I'm allowed to vent every now and again. The way that you're talking about this. Some of these stories, sometimes, I have a hard time believing maybe 1 in 5 of them. I'm like, I'm not sure about that one. I'll read it out anyway, because it's funny, but I'm not sure. I know you're telling the truth, because your frustration in helping somebody is coming out. And it's natural. Not everybody is this saintly person who's able to just, drop everything and have complete empathy all of the time. They all have slips. I have slips all the time. There've been a few times where I've had to walk out of the room when my grandpa's been being angry or annoyed or whatever, and I'm taking care of him and I don't want to snap at him, so I walk out and I just take a deep breath, and then walk back in. It happens all the time, dude. Like do not feel bad about feeling this way about taking care of somebody. It's natural. Go and vent, get it out your system. You're okay. Moving on. Anyhow. We called while I was on my way to League, and the news was so shocking that I had to stop in a small nowhere town and have a quick panic attack. He decided that due to his poor mental health, that it would just be best to leave me. He mentioned that he had been conforming to my desires and hobbies, and that he hadn't been himself. So he had the typical breakup stuff, and I ended up getting very upset and scared, obviously causing me to lash out and say some things that I certainly didn't mean. Most of it was a blur of emotions and scream crying, but in the midst of it he mentioned that 40k was one of the things he had conformed to. I asked what he meant, and through some more back and forth, we came to the conclusion that I would be keeping his Tau and Sisters of Battle. Now, I have this big pile of models that I can't stand to look at, and beyond that, I have a lot of twisted and scary emotions going on under the hood. I have tons of issues with self-worth, it's just who I am, and this isn't helping. I have a very strong support network, being my Legion guys, my D&D friends, and some childhood buddies, but right now, none of it feels real. All of it feels so fragile and scary, and I'm just super lost. I look to your show and the stories I hear as some sort of comfort, and I love what you do, so I'm hoping to get some of that Northern Exile wisdom. Thanks for reading, man, Jonathan. Okay, so, First of all, sell the models. Sell them. Get rid of them. Sell them. Get some money. Go on the Discord and sell them. There will be lots of people who want the new Sisters of Battle. They'll be all over that shit. Tau as well. We've got a few Tau players. Dude, sell them. And sell them for a cost. As in, sell them for whatever you can get. It doesn't matter whether it's $10, whatever. As long as you get some sort of monetary transaction per squad, sell them at 20 bucks a pop. 20 bucks a squad. Even though they're worth like 30 or 40, doesn't matter. Get them out your life. Get them out the door. Get some money, right? Get a couple of $100 for both of them. And call it a done deal. You're done, right? Get them out your life, and put them in storage until you can sell them. Do the hard thing of taking photographs of them, making sure that they're looking good in the photographs, and then put them in storage, ready to go. Literally, take photographs of them so you can advertise them. Put them in a nice storage box so they're not going to get smashed or damaged, and sellotape them and get them ready for you to write an address on them and post them, and then put them away somewhere. Done. You never have to think about that ever again. That's where it is. Right? Then put the advertisement on there and wait, and then sell them, get rid of them, get them out of your life. Number one. Number two, you've already mentioned that, well, I'm going to get to that bit in a minute. What you have to realise is this is kind of natural. And I know people are going to say this to you a lot. They're going to be like, oh, well, you know, I'll tell you what, you know, you should just get on with it. You know, get on with it and you'll be fine. That's not really how these things work, you know. That's not really how these things work. You need to... How do I put this? You've already mentioned that you've got an amazing support network, that you've got people there who are there for you and all that. This will feel unreal for a while. It won't feel like this is actually happening. It's going to take you quite a while, if you've been with this person for quite a long time, to get your head around the fact that this has happened at all. This definitely happened with me with my American breakup. I was numb for a couple of weeks, and it was really weird living in the same house and acting like things were just normal when we'd actually broken up, and I was heartbroken, right? And I was all over the place. It took me actually seeing somebody else for a bit to break out of that malaise. And weirdly, seeing somebody else whilst I was in America actually allowed me to... it actually snapped me out of it and allowed me to start processing my grief. Then I came back to the UK and I spent a good 3 or 4 months processing that grief, going for long walks and runs and just crying and getting it out of my system. That first night back in the UK in a bed on my own, when I've not been on my own in a bed for a long time, you know what I mean? When I got back to the UK and I spent my first night in that bed on my own, looking at the ceiling, that was hard. That was hard. That I never want to feel that way ever again. I felt so lost and adrift, and like I've been cast down a giant beanstalk down to the bottom of it again, and I had to climb it all over again. And I just didn't know whether I had the strength to do that anymore. I didn't. I was just like, I don't know whether I can do this. You know, I'm gonna have to, because I don't have the balls to do anything about it. But I just didn't know where I was going to get the strength from. It turns out you do have the strength. You just keep going forwards every single day. You keep going. I just kept going forwards every single day. I didn't do it determined to do anything. I literally just malaised through life for a year. I taught. I did my job. I played copious amounts of video games. And by the end of 2021, I came back to this channel and started making videos full time again. And things started to steadily get better and better and better as my life went on, and that's just how it went. So, don't put any pressure on yourself to have some sort of wonderful, you know, cacophonous realization now that everything's okay. Now, a lot of people on YouTube will peddle that lie to you. A lot of self-help people will say, you know, you'll have that epiphany and it'll be great, and you go out and you start running and you start... No, it doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. Life is a series of taut, lengthy negotiations with your own brain. That's what this is. It's going to take you a while to get back onto an even keel. It's going to take you a while to just start manoeuvring yourself. What you need to do the model thing first, of course, get rid of them. But find comfort in your friends. Yeah, talk to them. Let them know how you're feeling. That is incredibly important. I let everybody know how I was feeling around me all the time, ad nauseum, until they got sick of it. And when they got sick of it, I talked to somebody else, and eventually I went to therapy, and I did things like that. And so somebody was paid to listen to me rant about, you know, how things were in life and stuff. That really helped me. So maybe looking to getting into therapy and things like that. But what I would definitely do is take advantage of that support network that you say that you have. That is incredibly important. But also, don't put any pressure on yourself to get better. Go day to day to day to day and simply exist in your life. Existing in your life is a small victory in itself. I'm being honest. You know, just existing in your life is a small victory in and of itself. You being around, you being there, and you slowly building yourself back up again, just by existing. Just by existing, you're winning. Literally. Just by going to work, just by getting... That's me, by the way. I forgot to switch my WhatsApp off. Just by existing, just by going to work, just by doing the things that you normally do on a daily basis. By getting up in the morning, by going for walks, by processing. You're always processing. Even if you don't think that you are. Even if you don't think that your brain is working, it is. Your brain is working through the trauma and stress of that breakup. It's doing it even subconsciously when you're walking around and you're doing things. The only way you lose is by giving up. That's the only way you lose. Everything else is a win. The only way you lose, Jonathan, is by giving up. Everything else is a win. On a scale of 1 to 10. But it's still a positive win. If you wake up one day and you get on with your day and you feel shitty all day because of what's going on, good. Good. You're processing it. You're heartbroken and it never feels like it's going to end, but it will. It will, because that's the natural conclusion of you processing it. Don't be afraid of those feelings, by the way. Make sure you let them out. Not all the time. Don't become a blubber, right? But when you feel the need and it's too much, go and find a little place somewhere and cry and get it out your system. Get it out your system. Alright? I'm not really sure how it works for gay dudes, because I'm not one myself. But if I was a straight man, because I am a straight man, if I was a straight man, right, with me being a straight man, what I would do with a breakup is, I've done this before, is I go and I cry and I whinge and I moan and I berate myself for getting things wrong and I can't stand it, and then I pick myself up, I go to the gym and I go out and I talk shit to women. As many as I can do. I go out and I talk some shit. Because there's nothing more fearless than a man who's just gone through a breakup. He is utterly fearless. There's the one thing, like a superpower that you get when you've gone through a bad breakup. And I use it to develop my skills, develop my social skills, the skills of talking to the opposite sex or whatever I'm going to do, and I do that sort of thing. I'm not sure whether that's how it works with gays, with gay people. Not sure, but that's what I do anyway. So, that's my advice. Use the Discord as well. There'll be plenty of people on there who want to give you some advice or want to talk to you or are there to listen to you. I swear to God, we've got certain therapists on there, because or at least people who could be therapists anyway. So that's my advice. Do with it what you will. Tyler says, where are we? Yeah, Tyler says, hello North, hope all is well and your house situation is quickly getting better. It is, slowly but surely. My name is Tyler and I have a hobby nightmare story you might find to be interesting. I also wanted to share a story of great experience I had at my local Friendly Games workshop back when I first started in the hobby. So the good story. I first started my hobby early in 2005, or 2005, that was a good year. Good year for North. Well, kind of a good year. When I was around 10 years old. I went in my first Games Workshop store by myself, while the rest of my family shopped at the other nearby stores. My parents didn't know what kind of store it was, and just assured me that it was a regular toy store and not a place where you would hear a grown man shout, 6, they're all dead. That was literally the first thing I heard when I walked in, and I quickly shuffled my way out of the store from actual fear. A Games Workshop employee quickly ran after me and told me the guy was just being funny, that this is where the uncool kids hang out. He sort of laughed. I laughed back and walked back in with a little embarrassment, with a grown man apologising from the back of the store. I can just imagine that. He's like, sorry. Dude, I miss this about Games Workshop. Like, I really miss this. It's not like that anymore, but I really do miss that community spirit. There are certain stores which are like this, and I know that there are. There are definitely certain stores that are like this. That's awesome. He introduced me to the hobby by taking me to see the guys playing a match in the back of the room. It was Tyranids versus Orcs, and while they played in front of us, the whole time the Games Workshop employee was pointing at figurines and telling me what they are and what they roll, and what role they have in the 40k universe. A golden memory I have was him explaining what a gene stealer was, and with me not knowing what genes meant, I thought he meant actual jeans, as in the things that you wear. The Games Workshop employee and the players started laughing, and him saying that's an actual joke that gets around. That made me feel like I was included with a new environment, while doing it without my parents' help, and that moment also made me start to believe that I have a connection with the Tyranids. For about 20 minutes before the Games Workshop employee pulled out the new Tyranid Codex at the time and showed me a terrifying black and white photo of winged and tentacle-like Tyranids ripping humans apart with a castle-like background. Again, 10-year-old wearing light-up shoes here. It scared the shit out of me when my parents came to get me. The Games Workshop employee convinced my parents to buy a starter kit for me with an Ultramarines vs Tyranid box, while I silently wrapped up my head with the photo I just saw. I think the Games Workshop employee knew what he was doing, because I was scared, yeah, but I was more of intrigued by the hobby more than ever. I went from a gotta catch 'em all to only in death does duty end really quick. I like to think about that memory a lot when I'm painting. Shout out to that bald Games Workshop employee who worked in the outlet mall workshop in Seattle, Washington in 2005. Cool, man. So, on to the nightmare story. Grown up now and still rocking light-up shoes. I hope not. I live in an apartment complex with my girlfriend. Dude, if you got a girlfriend, you're not wearing light-up shoes. She got the apartment with her brother before I moved in and he moved out. We have an extra bedroom where I get to use for my hobby. This is important because the building I live in barely gets any natural light except for the extra room. I like natural light instead of having multiple lights on, just so do I, dude. Just to add, the apartment doesn't have any ceiling lights because why would they want me to light this place? So, I have the window shutters open a lot, with unfortunately my window being on the first floor and next to a sidewalk. Unsurprisingly, I see a few rude people who walk by whilst looking through my window, seeing into the room. Okay, I'm going to call you out on that one. If you have no curtains, and your window is right there, and it's easy to see through, people are going to look in. The human eye is naturally going to look in because it's naturally drawn in. Not everybody is being rude. I do this all the time. There is a house on my street that has no curtains and no, actual barriers to seeing straight into their house. Dude, you look in. You can't help but look in, and those morons sit there and they look at you like, what are you looking at? I'm looking at you because you don't have any curtains, you fucking Neanderthal. Right. My neighbour is one of those rude guys, and I introduced himself the one time I actually had the window open. He just stuck his head into the window. That's so Ned Flanders. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. He just walks past, he's like, hello, just pokes his head in through the window. Very off-putting, but completely my fault for having the window open, but he seems like a chill dude, just not a guy who understands social cues, I guess. We ended up talking a few weeks later, and he asked me to join him and his buddies to play a game of 40k at a local hobby shop. Alright, that's cool. I told him I haven't played since 2006, and I recently picked up the hobby pre-COVID, so I only just paint. He was extremely giddy when I told him that I only paint because he assumed I not only had a ton of miniatures, but miniatures that weren't doing anything and were just sitting on the shelf. My dumbass thought he was trying to get me to play again when really, he pushed aside that I wasn't a player and just wanted to borrow my miniatures. Well, it'd be nice to hang out where the uncool kids are again, so I let him borrow my army, but I was just going to be there the whole time while he was using it. I had time to figure out how to transfer all of my miniatures and even how many I was supposed to bring. When I texted him, his only reply was a swarm amount, quote unquote. Is this man for real? I brought all of my miniatures and hoped maybe they'd work on the tabletop. When I got to my local hobby shop, I met them on the second floor of the shop where the games were played. The group consisted of myself, my neighbour, and 2 of his friends. The group was absolutely stunned by the number of models I brought and kept asking me why I brought so many while I was taking out all of the models. They kept repeating, "What the fuck, bro? Who is this guy?" What the fuck? The man is a one-trick pony. That included my neighbour. They ridiculed my miniatures and said how every 6th model was passable. Oh, dude, fuck these guys. After 20 minutes of asking me more and more questions with more and more annoying or rude comments, I'd had enough. I wanted to go home. Now that's what I did. They asked me when I was going, and I said they were just messing, bro. Calm down. Okay. I've heard plenty of stories like this and decided to shut this shit down fast. I walked my light-up shoes straight out of there with a little pride with how I handled the situation. I mean, I have no interest of playing the game, and now, more than I ever do, I have a fire under my ass to paint better models. Next time I ever bring up models, actual friends will be surprised to see the number of quality painted models. Thanks, Reader North. I've been a long time listener and for the first time caller, I guess. Anyways, cheers, buddy, and thanks for what you do, Tyler. No problem, man. That sucks so much. That absolutely sucks. I hate that. I really, really hate that. Don't do that to people. You know, if they're good enough to bring you their models to let you have a look at, just accept it and, you know, pass some nice comments and move on. You came on a bad one there, dude. I'm really sorry about that. The fact that they invited you as well and then they just started ridiculing your models. Dude, come on. Not really up for that myself. Hate that shit. Don't do that in the hobby. Do not do that in the hobby. I say it all the time. Do not ridicule somebody else's models. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what their skill level is. You don't know what's going on in their brain. You don't know. If you've not been asked for an opinion, don't fucking give one. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're a Golden Demon winner and I've slathered one coat of paint on my models and called it done. They're my models, right? You don't know what's going on with me. I may have some mental issue. I may have, like, you know, I don't know. I may just find joy in painting the models and being a part of the hobby. And yet you come in there with and pushing your glasses up your nose with, actually, I think you need to use 2 thin coats and then some... no, if I haven't asked you for your opinion, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Alright? Good. And that's the only way to get out of it. I know people say, well, it's gatekeeping in a good way. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It definitely isn't. Absolutely not. It is, there are certain parts of the hobby where it's expected. The Horus Heresy groups, for example, they are exactly what they say on the tin. They are older, veteran players who are pushing the boundaries and getting better and better and better at their hobby. That's what that area of the hobby is. You conform to that area of the hobby. 40k is not like that. 40k is backgammon. 40k is for everybody. Absolutely everybody. And if someone has badly painted models, you don't know who they are, you don't know whether they've got jitters or handshakes or whatever, whether they've got PTSD from being in the army so that they can't hold the hand still, you don't know what they go through. Keep your mouth shut unless they ask you, dude, how did you do your models? They're similar to mine. I've been asked that question before, and my models aren't even that good to look at. And I've been asked, dude, how did you do that? I'd love to do that on my own models. And so I give some advice. People do ask for advice in this hobby, but if they haven't asked you, keep your mouth shut. If you've got nothing nice to say, then don't say anything. Alright? Cool. Love you all long time. Speak to you soon. I'll be back tomorrow with another 40k rant. Should be a good one. And it's a positive one. Even though it's very ranty, it is more of a positive one. But we'll get into that tomorrow. Love you all long time. Speak to you soon. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.